I thought our class was going to struggle with the I Live Here project. I didn't think that we were going to open up as much as the class last year did, but the project, it changes things.
The I Live Here project is a project based on our lives.
You pick something from your life, an artifact that represents you.
Then you reflect on it in any way, like with words or pictures, any way to reflect on that artifact.
As a student, you try and dig deep and you try and go somewhere where you really haven't been.
For me, it's just a way for all of our classmates and our peers to get to see each other in a different light.
There's more to people than what we really see every day, and people have their own problems, people have their own lives, and everybody's different, but they all have their unique stories. They all have who they really are when nobody else is around.
It was a way for me to get to tell the world how I really felt. This project is about my father. I decided to write about him and put it on an empty gift bag to show our symbol of empty relationships, things that I felt like were missing.
It's a picture of me when I was a little kid on the last Christmas that my parents were still together. I also wrote at the top, the best gift I could think of giving to my kids is never letting them have a picture like this, like the last time that they'll all be together as a family. So.
My grandfather, he was diagnosed with cancer. He was terminally ill. Towards the end of his fight, he made a joke that when we find a dime heads up, it'll be him looking out for us. I got into a really bad car accident, and there was only one kid wearing a seatbelt. When I went home that night, I found a dime on heads, so it was just my way of knowing that my grandfather was looking out for me.
My project was based off of a neurological disorder that I have. It's called neurofibromatosis. I wrote about this mainly because I recently found out that I have a tumor. I was happy to find out that it wasn't cancerous, but I was kind of upset when I found out they can't remove it because it's not fully formed. It makes me feel happier when I see brighter colors. I think it has a way to brighten up your day and things like that.
My father was never there for me. I haven't seen him since I was like 9 years old. When I made the choice to go to the Marines, it was because of him. I never had someone to teach me how to be a man, so I had to pick it up on myself. And I shouldn't be down because I don't have a father. I don't like making excuses for anything. I like to take responsibility for my own self.
3 or 4 months ago, I moved out of my house because my mother is alcoholic. That's me in the middle, and that's my mom, and that's her mother. And this year was especially tough for us. She just was spiraling towards rock bottom. This letter is kind of telling her that I don't hate her, how much I do love her, but I made my decision to move out because I love her and I want her to get better.
I took a picture of my teammates when I played soccer in Belgium, and I wrote to be continued on it. This was really the start of everything, like my dream of playing soccer professionally. If I give up on it and don't continue with this because of whatever reason, it'll haunt me, like not knowing how far I could have went with it.
I took a letter I wrote to my grandfather when I was a little kid. I didn't understand why he didn't like us at first, why he didn't talk to us. All I knew is that he didn't like how my dad and my mom were together. I took it more as he didn't want anything to do with me and my little sister. Dear Papa, I never met you, and Mommy and Daddy said I won't because you don't like us anymore. But I still love you. And I signed it with a heart. I started to almost feel bad for him because he's never going to get to know me, and I wouldn't say I love him, but I don't hate him anymore. I just don't care.
I think a lot about my future, and this project is surrounded by my future. The top half is a thank you letter I wrote to the Chief of Police of Salem. He took the time to show me around the police department. I've always looked at myself like a leader. Being on the police force will give me an opportunity to be a leader in the community and help people out.
My project is a picture of my parents, They're in the backyard on a nice like sunny day. I use this picture because I could see how things have changed. My mom is an alcoholic. She's had to go into rehab a few different times. A time so long ago when problems were scarce and solved with a kiss, now only ignorance is bliss.
My father, we don't live together, but we were very close, and he used to travel a lot, especially to Africa, and every time he came back, he always gave me a necklace or some type of jewelry from Africa, and that was kind of our thing, and I decided to write him kind of like a little letter, a little thank you, just to tell him that I appreciate the connection that we have. It just shows that my father loves me, and he thinks about me wherever he is, even if he's miles and miles away. But I just want us to be closer, and I just wish he was there for me, more of a daily than monthly. But he's doing a fine job. I just hope it continues or just get better as time goes.
We don't really take many family portraits, so it's odd to see one in my house because I feel like my family is not a whole. There's missing pieces here and there, and I would say I'm one of those missing pieces. I'm just not there in that photograph. I don't really belong in this family, and that's how I usually feel. They started favoring my sister, my younger sister. I feel like my parents don't know who I am, and I don't really know who they are because we don't take time to talk to each other about simple things. They don't understand what I'm going through or what I'm dealing with. That's basically it.
My project is about my mother who died when I was 4. She died from cancer, and I found these journal entries in my room. They were from all different ages, 4, 8. Hi Mom, I miss you so much. I'm 8 now. I just read the other notes to you. I wish you could come back. I love being with you. Dad is having a hard time without you. I love you so much. You're the best. I always knew the night before an I Live Here project, I didn't want to talk to anyone because I didn't want them to see me upset. But then when I'd bring it to school and see that other people have theirs, it comforted me that I'm not the only one dealing with it and always thinking about these problems.
Looking back, the I Live Here project was definitely a good thing.
They bring out a lot of people's strength, I feel. They help people express themselves in a way they don't usually.
I guess it affected me because it affected my perspective.
I'm definitely kind of sad that it took this long for our class to, in a way, bond with each other. We've always been known as that class that isn't as close as other classes.
It's taken us this long to get the knowledge that everybody is not what they really seem all the time, and that everybody has their own unique story, and that everybody is different.
I live here.
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 It's scary to think that we almost graduated not even knowing who the person sitting next to us was. I'm so happy that we got to do this, but I almost wish we got to do it sooner.
I live here.
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 Now you get to see who this person truly is and where they live. And that's basically how you're gonna find yourself. And they'll be finding themselves, and you'll be finding yourself together.